8 Deadliest Predators on Earth. It gets deadlier. The further you read, the ocean doesn't warn you. Neither does the grass. Neither does the dark corner of a shoe left on a desert floor. Earth's deadliest predators don't share a habitat, a size, or even a body plan. What they share is efficiency. And the further down this list you go, the harder that word hits. Tiger, 300 kilos of silence. The tiger doesn't announce itself. The forest does, by stopping. Birds cut out, deer freeze mid-step. The air changes before you ever see stripes. That's the real weapon. Not the claws, not the jaw. The psychological radius that arrives 30 seconds before the cat does. Built heavier than any other big cat, the tiger hunts alone, which means every kill is a solo engineering problem it has already solved. It doesn't chase. It calculates approach angles, uses water to muffle its footsteps, and closes the gap only when escape is already impossible. One bite to the neck. Precise, targeted, final. No second attempt needed. The tiger doesn't try. It concludes. Most apex predators fail more than they succeed. The tiger's strike-to-kill ratio makes other hunters look like they're practicing. Lion. The lion looks lazy until it doesn't. 20 hours of rest, then 4 minutes of something that rewrites the savannah. What makes lions genuinely dangerous isn't one lion. It's the geometry of a pride working in formation, flanking from 3 directions simultaneously, cutting off every exit before the target even registers the threat. The mane isn't vanity. It absorbs the force of another lion's claws during combat. A biological crash helmet worn permanently. And the roar carries 5 miles. Not to scare prey. Prey already knows. The roar is territorial infrastructure. A sound that draws borders across open land without a single step taken. Lions lose individual hunts frequently. As a coordinated unit, they almost never lose the outcome they planned for. That's not instinct. That's strategy. Wolf. Wolves don't kill fast. They kill inevitable. A single wolf is impressive. A pack is a closing argument. They select a target, test it for weakness in the first 30 seconds of pursuit, and if it's not the right target, they stop and find another. No wasted energy. No ego. What makes wolves terrifying isn't speed. Elk outrun them regularly. It's the mathematics of a chase that never stops. Wolves can sustain pursuit across 50 miles. Their prey cannot. Exhaustion is the weapon. By the time contact is made, the outcome was decided miles back. They don't hunt in the present, they hunt in the future, when the target has nothing left. And they do it in silence. No sound until it's already over. Cobra. Most snakes bite reactively. The king cobra plans. At 3 meters long, it can raise a third of its body off the ground and hold eye contact at standing human height. It tracks. It considers. It chooses whether to strike. That cognitive gap between stimulus and response is what separates it from every other snake on Earth. The venom isn't the most toxic in the snake world. It doesn't need to be. A single bite delivers enough neurotoxin to kill an elephant. Volume over concentration. The payload shuts down the nervous system. Respiratory failure follows within hours, sometimes less. No anti-venom reaches most of the rural regions where bites happen. But the detail that stays with you. The king cobra is intelligent enough to avoid confrontation when it isn't necessary. When it does strike, it decided to. Crocodile. Everything evolution tried after the crocodile was a revision. The crocodile was the draft that didn't need one. It has survived 5 mass extinction events by doing one thing with absolute mastery: waiting. Submerged to 2 eyes and 2 nostrils, completely motionless for hours, it registers vibrations in water through sensory nodes embedded across its jaw. A biological sonar system that detects a footstep from meters away. The bite force is the strongest of any animal measured. Not for chewing. Crocodiles can't chew. It's for the death roll. a full-body rotation that tears prey apart through physics rather than cutting. Once the roll begins, nothing reverses it. 200 million years of refinement, zero unnecessary features, the most efficient ambush predator that has ever existed, and it's still here. Eagle. Most predators operate on one plane. The harpy eagle operates from above it, where prey has no instinct to look. In the canopy of the Amazon, it moves between branches at full speed in complete silence, wings folded, threading through gaps, a bird its size has no business fitting through. Then it opens them, talons the size of a grizzly bear's claws. Grip strength that compresses bone on contact. It targets monkeys, sloths, and large reptiles, not insects, not fish. Things that weigh as much as a medium dog, plucked cleanly from branches 30 meters up, carried away before the canopy stops moving. It doesn't circle, it doesn't hover, it commits once from above, and the calculation is already complete before the wings open. The prey never had a reference point for that direction. Nothing in the jungle taught it to look up. Shark. The great white is not a fish that became dangerous. It is danger that was eventually classified as a fish. 400 million years of the same body plan, because the ocean never gave it a reason to change. Cartilage instead of bone, lighter, faster, more flexible. 6 rows of teeth, each one replaced the moment it's lost. A jaw that detaches forward on the strike, turning the entire skull into a trap that closes from the outside in. It detects a single drop of blood diluted across 5 kilometers of open water. It senses the electromagnetic field produced by a beating heart through receptors in its snout. It knows you are there before the water around you moves. The great white doesn't attack out of aggression. It investigates. The problem is how it investigates. One exploratory bite from an animal that weighs 2,000 kilos reframes the entire concept of curiosity. Scorpion. And then there's this, 7 centimeters, the weight of a paperclip, found under rocks, inside boots, beneath the lip of a sleeping bag in the Sahara. The Deathstalker scorpion produces the most potent scorpion venom on Earth, a cocktail of neurotoxins that triggers simultaneous cardiovascular and respiratory failure. No single mechanism, every system at once. It doesn't roar, it doesn't chase, it doesn't need to weigh 300 kilos or patrol 5 miles of territory. It just needs to be somewhere you weren't expecting it. Children and the elderly die from a single sting without treatment. In regions where treatment doesn't exist, the margin collapses entirely. The tiger owns the forest. The shark owns the ocean. The Deathstalker owns the gap between your wall and your floor, and it has been there since before you moved in. Size was never the point. Efficiency was always the point. The most dangerous thing on Earth isn't necessarily the largest, the fastest, or the loudest. It's the one that was already there when you arrived, that you never thought to check for, quietly perfect at the one thing it was built to do. Stay curious and check your shoes.